Data is everywhere. It is observable or measurable. With the advancement of technology every day, data can be accessed anywhere and by anyone. When data is correct, valid analysis and interpretation can be generated to produce valuable information. But what will happen if the data will not be organized and interpreted correctly? In this video, you will see how important and useful the data management as a mathematical tool with the following objectives. To be able to learn how to organize and summarize data is to be able to gain an understanding about the importance of the meaning of data.
She's on her way. Tell everyone.
Roslyn, what kind of report is this? Why does the data in here are all wrong and not consistent? Then I find a lot of discrepancy. And do you think I will accept this kind of report? I want a meeting with our employees right now.
Well, I'm sorry po. I'm really sorry po. Calling all the employees of Miss Z Company, we have an emergency meeting right now. Please proceed to the conference meeting right away.
I have read all the reports you submitted to me and I cannot accept all of them because the data are not clear and incorrect. What should we do to solve this problem?
I can explain, ma'am. The problem was all the data needed and the report was not yet gathered or collected, and it didn't organize as well. That is why the informations are not reliable and has error. Now, I will show you the techniques to gather data. First, the direct or interview method. Second, indirect or questionnaire method. The third, the registration method. And the fourth and the last, the experimental method. The direct or interview method, the researcher has direct contact with the interviewee. The researcher gathers information by asking questions to the interviewee. The indirect questionnaire method, the researcher makes use of a written questionnaire. The researcher gives or distributes the questionnaire to the respondents, either by personal delivery or by mail. The registration method, in this method is governed by the laws. Example, the number of registered professionals can be found at the Professional Regulation Commission or PRC. And the last one, the experimental method. And this method is utilized to find out the cause and effects of the relationship.
Organizing and summarizing data is also a big help to correct our daily sales report, ma'am. Organizing and summarizing data is called descriptive statistics. There are two ways to summarize data. The first one is by graphing and the last one is by using numbers. For example, finding an average. An effective interpretation of data, inference is based on good procedures for producing data and thoughtful examination of the data. There are three methods for interpreting a data: textual or paragraph or narrative form. This describes the data by enumerating some of the important features of the data set, like giving the highest, lowest, or the average value. It is the tabular method of presentation. This is applicable for large data sets. Frequency is the number of times a value of the data occurs. Frequency distribution is the organization of raw data in table form, using classes and frequencies. Relative frequency is the ratio, fraction, or proportion of the number of times the value of the data occurs in the set of all outcomes to the total number of outcomes. Cumulative relative frequency is the accumulation of the previous relative frequencies. Graphical presentation. It is a visual presentation of the data. A graph is a tool that helps you learn about the shape or distribution of a sample. It is commonly used in oral presentation.
Data management also need a careful study about the measures of central tendency in order to interpret the data very well. In today's meeting, I'll be presenting the mean, median, and how to calculate their group and ungroup data. Mean is the average or a calculated value of a set of numbers. To calculate it, add up all the numbers, then divide by how many numbers they are. So now, let me give you an example on how to calculate a mean in a group data. In this example, let's calculate the mean in this test score. So in this example, we have 6 classes. Our class width is 5 and our frequency is 40. To find the mean using the classwork, calculate the classwork of each classes, then divide it by 2. 41 plus 45 divided 2 equals 43, 36 plus 40 divided 2 equals 38, and so on. Always remember that our class width is 5. It is easy to find a class width. It is the difference of the two consecutive lower limits. In this given example, 21 minus 16 equals 5. After getting the class mark, multiply it to the frequency. In this given example, 1 times 43 equals 43, 3 times 38 equals 304, and so on. Then after that, find the frequency. In this given example, the sum of the frequency is 1,200. To get the mean, just divide the product of the frequency and the classwork by the total frequency. 1,200 divided 40 equals 30. So now, let's calculate the mean in the M-group data. To find the mean, just add the data values, then divide by the numbers of data numbers. 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 equals 27. 27 divided 7 equals 3. Moving on, median. Median is a statistical measure that determines the middle value of a data set, listed in an ascending order.
In median group data, so let's simplify. So 20 minus 17 is 3. And 3 divided by 12 times 9 is 2.25. So 144.5 plus 2.25. So the median of group data is 147.75. In median and group data, if the given data is odd numbers, it means you have one middle value. And the median here is 3. But if you have even data, so you have two middle values. So what will happen if you have two middle values? So you have to add the 3 and 4 and divided by 2. The mode is the value that appears most frequently in a data set. In mode group data, let's substitute all the values that we get. So that is 144.5 plus 3 over 3 plus 7 times 9. And the 3 plus 7, that is 10. Then 3 over 10 times 9 is 2.7 plus 144.5. The answer is 147.2. In mode and group data, first let's arrange the data and let's determine the most number of times. So in the given data set, we have 2, 115, and 121. They have the same numbers. So therefore, the data sets has two modes, and that is 115 and 121. So the data set is said to be bimodal.
Measure of relative position. So it is a number that tells where the score stands relative to other in a set of data. It is a measure whether a value is above the average or whether it unusually high or low. It can apply to ordinal variables. So we have three common measures of position. The first is quartile, the second is deciles, and the third is percentiles. So first is quartile. The quartile are the score points which divide a distribution into 4 parts. So for example, the owner of the coffee shop recorded the number of customers who come into his coffee each hour a day. The result, as we are 14, 10, 12, 9, 17, 5, 8, 9, 14, 16, and 11. So find the lower quartile and upper quartile of the data. So first, arrange the scores in ascending order. In equals 11 because there are 11 orders. 5, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 14, 14, 17. So our middle value is 10 or median. And our lower quartile is 9 and the upper quartile is 14. So how to compute the interquartile range? That is the difference between third quartile and first quartile. IQR or QR minus Q1 or 14 minus 9 equals IQR 5.
To make accurate and full information, we should also tackle about the deciles and the percentiles. Deciles, the decimal, are score points divided the distribution into 10 equal parts using this formula. K is the position of data and N is the number of observation. Example, decile 1 is 10%, decile 2 is 20%, decile 3 is 30%, decile 4 is 40%, and the median is decile 5, 50%. Percentiles are those score points which divide a distribution into 100 equal parts. For example, percentiles 10 equal to 10%, percentiles 20 equal to 20%, and the median is percentiles 50%. Example, the list shows the number of bottles strawberry jam sold in the day by 14 different vendors, sold for P43. First, arrange the score to ascending order. Using this formula, percentiles 43 is equals to 14 over 100. 43 times 14 is equals to 602 over 100. 602 divided by 100 is equal to 6.02. Round to the whole numbers equal to 7. And the 15 is the 7th number of a position data. Therefore, the percentile 43 is equal to 15.
Always remember, data management is very important in mathematics as a tool because it covers three processes. First is gathering or collecting, next is organizing and displaying, the last one is interpreting data, in which it is very useful because of this. All processes, it produces meaningful information that helps us analyze all the data and come up with a solution to avoid future errors, discrepancy, and maximize the benefit of any kind of organization. Meeting adjourned.